From remote and forested graveyards roamed by the chilling ghosts of their many interments, to historic burial grounds harboring the restless spirits of long-dead soldiers. Are you sure you're ready to explore 5 haunted cemeteries you should never visit? Number 5. Chestnut Hill Cemetery. Chestnut Hill Cemetery, located near EXETER, Rhode Island, is a weathered old yard boasting a lengthy history and its own fair share of purported supernatural activity. Historically, this plot was established in 1820 and has served as a burial ground for the local community for over 2 centuries, and many families and individuals from EXETER and the surrounding areas have been laid to rest within its bounds, contributing to its historical significance. Perhaps the most famous legend associated with Chestnut Hill Cemetery is the Mercy Brown vampire legend. In the late 19th century, one Mercy Brown, a young woman who died of tuberculosis, was believed to be a vampire responsible for the deaths of her family members, and her body was actually exhumed and her heart was burned in an attempt to stop this alleged vampiric activity. Reported across Chestnut Hill are accounts of disembodied voices, whispers, and laughter, of orbs and strange inexplicable lights, and of encounters with both shadowy figures and full-bodied entities who often rush at those nearby. Another popular legend tells of a phantom carriage that is said to appear near the cemetery drawn by spectral horses. Witnesses to this phenomenon claim to have seen this ghostly carriage moving silently through the cemetery or on nearby roads, only to vanish suddenly without a trace, and some believe it to be a residual haunting replaying an event from the past. Several investigations of this aged yard have yielded high EMF levels and chilling EVPs, entailing full conversations, and many have described extreme cold spots and the feelings of sadness or of unease. A final prominent and associated tale revolves around the statue of a mourning woman located within Chestnut Hill. According to this story, the statue is said to weep tears during certain nights or when someone in the community is about to die, leading to the belief that the construct is likely a guardian figure or an embodiment of grief itself. Number 4. Bachelors Grove. Bachelors Grove, located in Cook County, Illinois, is a remote and weathered plot acting as both a final resting place to the living and also as a birthing grounds for some of the state's most famous legends and ghost stories. Historically, Bachelors Grove Cemetery, or officially the Rubio Woods Forest Preserve Cemetery, is an abandoned boneyard with a history dating back to the mid-19th century. It served as a burial grounds primarily for German and Irish immigrants and their families, and over time was neglected, abandoned, and allowed to fall into disrepair. One of the most well-known legends associated with Bachelors Grove Cemetery is that of a vanishing house. According to these stories, a small house or farmhouse located near the cemetery would mysteriously appear or disappear, leaving visitors puzzled, and some accounts describe the sighting of lights or figures within the windows of this odd abode. Reported across Bachelors Grove and surrounding woodlands are extreme cold patches felt in adverse weather conditions, constant feelings of unease, anxiety, heaviness, or of being watched, and encounters with a range of shadowy manifestations and full-bodied apparitions that wander amongst the markers, many that are clad in period clothing. From this timeless graveyard, there exists a legend of a mysterious statue known as the Madonna of Bachelors Grove. According to this story, the statue is said to move around the cemetery or change positions on its own, and some claim to have witnessed the construct weeping tears or glowing under the moonlight. Several informal investigations of the yard have yielded high EMF levels and EVPs entailing full conversations or eerie cries, and both orbs and strange lights have been spied drifting about. A final Bachelors Grove legend involves a ghostly woman dressed in white or in a flowing gown who is often seen wandering through the cemetery. Witnesses to this presence describe her as ethereal and translucent, appearing and disappearing amongst the tombstones, and some believe she may be the spirit of one of the yard's many interments. Number 3. Union Cemetery. Union Cemetery, located in EASTON, Connecticut, is an aged expanse equally as famous for its history as it is for its purported paranormal happenings experienced on site. Historically, this old yard totes a long history dating back to the 1700s and is one of the oldest cemeteries in EASTON. It has served as the final resting place for generations of local residents, including notable figures from the area, and has witnessed the passage of great time, earning itself historical significance within its community. The most famous legend associated with Union Cemetery is that of the White Lady. According to tale, a ghostly woman in a flowing white gown is said to appear near the entrance or wander through the yard, and witnesses claim to have seen her vanish into thin air or walk along the nearby Route 59 before fading away. Notably, this white lady is often associated with tragic love stories or untimely deaths. Across Union, many have also reported strange cold spots, the constant feeling of being watched by something unseen, and physical interaction with the unknown, including pokes, pinches, and even the sensation of having one's hair pulled on. Another popular legend tells of glowing red eyes that are occasionally seen in the darkness of the cemetery. Some accounts describe these eyes as peering out from behind tombstones or lurking in the shadows. Notably, the origin and nature of these red eyes remain a mystery and have added to the eerie reputation of the yard. Several informal investigations of the expanse have yielded orbs in photography, high EMF levels, strange malfunctions with electronics, and chilling EVPs, including whispers and what are described as inhuman vocals. And several have reported encounters with ghostly apparitions that linger near specific markers, that are seemingly unaware of their surroundings, and that often repeat certain phrases or actions. A final Union Cemetery tale tells of the hanging tree. Incidentally, Union Cemetery is rumored to have been the site of a hanging tree where criminals were once executed, and it's believed that the residual energy or lingering spirits from these executions contribute to the paranormal activity reported about. Number 2. Boothill Graveyard. Boothill Graveyard, located in the iconic Old West town of Tombstone, Arizona, is a massively famous and iconic burial site steeped in history, legends, and tales of the otherworldly. Historically, Boothill Cemetery, officially known as Tombstone Cemetery, was first established in 1878 and served as a final resting place for the town of Tombstone during its Wild West era. The cemetery gained its nickname Boothill due to the high number of outlaws, cowboys, and other individuals who met violent ends near, and that were subsequently buried within. One of the most significant legends associated with Boothill is that it contains the graves of several individuals who were killed in famous gunfights during Tombstone's heyday. Notable figures, such as the 3 legends involved in the iconic gunfight at the OK Corral, being Wyatt Earp's brothers, Virgil and Morgan Earp, and their comrade Doc Holliday, were initially buried in Boothill before being moved to other cemeteries later. Those visiting Boothill have reported a wide range of supernatural phenomena, including disembodied voices heard in full conversation, extreme cold spots felt on hot summer days, and encounters with both shadowy figures and with ghostly manifestations clad in Old West attire that drift eerily amongst its markers. Boothill Cemetery is also known for the grave of an unidentified man who was found dead near the railroad tracks in 1881. His tombstone simply and rather comically reads, "Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more." Not surprisingly, this humorous inscription has become a well-known legend associated with the cemetery, and some believe his ambiguous fate may have left his spirit at unrest. Several informal investigations of Boothill have yielded high EMF levels, chilling EVPs, and even video and audio recordings of names being called out of thin air. And others have told of unearthly mists, of orbs visible to the naked eye, and of the feeling of being watched or even of being touched or brushed up against by someone or something unseen. A final legend tells of a mysterious eternal flame that it's said burns at a grave in Boothill Cemetery. According to this fable, the flame represents the eternal spirit of the person buried within, and has continued to burn for decades, regardless of weather conditions. Notably, the identity of the grave or the cause of the eternal flame remains a mystery. Number 1. Stull Cemetery. Of all other haunted burying grounds on this list and in the United States, perhaps none has picked up quite as much traction as that of Stull Cemetery, based in Stull, Kansas. This weathered yard and its enigmatic past have captivated the imaginations of many, drawing both curiosity seekers and paranormal enthusiasts alike to its unhallowed grounds. Historically, Stull Cemetery's origins can be traced back to the mid-19th century when it served as a final resting place for locals to the community. Situated adjacent to the remains of an old stone church, the cemetery has stood witness to the passage of both time and to the lives of those interred within its bounds. Stull Cemetery gained notoriety through a chilling legend that proclaims it as one of the 7 gateways to hell. According to this tale, the devil himself visits the cemetery twice a year, on Halloween night and during the spring equinox. These moments are said to open a portal or bridge to the netherworld, allowing for the forces of darkness to emerge into our realm. Over the years, reports of rampant supernatural activity at Stull have persisted from locals and visitors alike, and include the constant feeling of unease as if something unseen is always watching, extreme temperature fluctuations, spontaneous torrents on otherwise calm days, and encounters with menacing shadowy figures. Another captivating legend linked to Stull Cemetery revolves around the presence of a witch's grave. As this fable tells it, a witch was buried within the cemetery, and her final resting place is marked by a unique and mysterious headstone. Some versions of this legend claim that the witch's spirit lingers, haunting the area with her otherworldly presence and malevolence. Numerous investigations of Stull have been conducted and have yielded high EMF levels, chilling EVPs, and odd electronic malfunctions. Disembodied voices, whispers, and eerie laughter are commonly detected emanating from thin air, leaving those who witness them feeling threatened. And many have described objects moving on their own, odd flickering lights, and instances of vehicles randomly failing to start during departures. Lastly, the ruins of the old stone church adjacent to Stull Cemetery add to its aura of mystery. Legend has it that this church was the site of unholy rituals and occult practices. It's said that the devil himself materialized within its walls, leaving behind an indelible mark of malevolence. However, this church was eventually destroyed in a fire, leaving only remnants behind as a reminder of its eerie past. Thanks for joining me for this list of 5 haunted cemeteries you should probably never visit. If you enjoyed hearing my histories and ghost stories, subscribe to my channel, like this upload, and share me with anyone you feel could use a good scare. I'll catch you next time.